Okay, this is a 2023 Challenger Hellcat. I just finished installing the ZL1 Stealth rear diffuser. I do recommend the Stealth diffuser. It's just better looking generally. Well, overall it's better looking. Doesn't come with instructions. They have some instructional videos on their YouTube channel, but they don't yet have one for the Stealth diffuser, although you can kind of piece different steps from their videos and other people's videos together to figure out how to put this thing together appropriately. But let me just give you a piece of advice here, right? So these fins, right, they should not touch your bumper. If they are touching your bumper, you've installed it incorrectly. There are silver spacers, right? You can kind of see that spacer in there, right? Let's see if I can get a zoom on that. There, okay. So those silver spacers are going to go in between your valance, the bumper valance, and the top portion of the diffuser plate. There's 4 of those, right? So you can see all 4 of them in there. Would it be cool if they were black? Yeah, it would be cool if they were black, right? Fully blacked out kit would be pretty awesome, but it's okay. Nobody's getting down and looking in there, so it's fine. So on the outside, so here on this side, you're going to use the short screws. You get 2 short screws, 2 long screws. So use the short ones here and the long ones here. Technically, you can use short screws all the way across, but you definitely can't use the long screws over here. Otherwise, they're going to hit the underside of your trunk pan, right? So the underside of the trunk, the long ones will come in contact with that. So without those spacers though, right? Without those spacers in place, these blades will absolutely touch your bumper. So definitely use the spacers. And one other thing I'd like to point out, or a couple things really, these are license plate caps, right? So you're familiar with the license plate screw caps and how those work, right? We've got the screw caps here on the license plate. So link in the description to pick up a pack of these. These are stainless steel screws under here, right? And I just put the screw cap on here, right? And then, you know, we take the cap, right? And you push it on there until it clicks. And now your screws are covered up, right? So they make matte black caps. These are just cheap, you know, plastic caps. If you want to get matte black, you can get matte black, but there's 4 of them. So I'll put a link in there to buy that. The other thing to note, right, is when you're installing it back here, so you have the aluminum cylindrical shaft there. This is a Hellcat. The frame was not threaded on my vehicle. I had to use the riv nut accessory, right? So the riv nuts I had to put up in there. I did have to buy the $10 riv nut installation tool from ZL1 Addons. That does not come with the kit, but the actual riv nuts themselves do come with the kit. There's 2 of them, so don't screw up. Do not screw up, because you only get 2. You'll have to buy more if you screw up and drill it out, etc. I put blue Loctite on the threaded shafts that thread into the aluminum block at the top, and then that threaded shaft, as it threads into the frame, I use green Loctite, okay? And then down here, this kit came with the black bolts and the large black washers, but these large black washers, the inner diameter of the opening was too small for this black nut, this black bolt to fit through. So I had to get my Dremel and I had to hollow out the inner diameter a little bit of these washers to get that bolt to fit through there, right? There are some silver washers that come with the kit, but they're way too small to use up against this opening right here, okay? So you got to use these bigger washers for sure. And then this is the black powder coated version of the kit. I do recommend, if you're gonna buy it, just spend that little extra bit of money and get the black powder coated version, because it just looks so much better. It's cleaner and it's not gonna get all, what's the word, like, you know, it's not gonna corrode and things like that. So pretty legit. And let's just come out here. It's very easy, and you know, it's fairly easy install. It doesn't take that long. Probably it'll take you about 30-40 minutes or something like that. Maybe a little bit more if you have to install the riv nuts, okay? Maybe an hour and a half total time. But it looks, you know, it looks freaking awesome. What can I say, right? It looks great. Now, I do have, if ZL1 Add-ons actually sees this video, I do have like one small piece of advice. So there are some instances, and here's a good instance, maybe it'll show up on camera, right? There's a little like kind of bulge here in the plastic, and this is seen in a few places, quite a few places. Here's another instance of it. I don't know if you can really see the bulge on camera, but right here, there are screws that screw down into these fins, and the screw holes in at least 4 or 5 places on these fins were not dead center in the middle of the fin. They were way to the side. And so this screw and about 4 or 5 other screws in here are on the verge of just busting through these fins. Like literally this plastic could just split, and now you've got exposed screw. Because those holes were not drilled dead center, and they should be drilled dead center. They were drilled way off to the side. So just be aware of that. I mean, you could email them and request like new fins with properly placed drill holes if you want to. But if it does come to that, if it does bust through, then I will be emailing them. But stealth diffuser.